Well, folks, as they say, the fatigue levels have gone through the roof. Honestly, I'm pretty tired of this. I'm pretty tired of the fact that every time I turn around, I have to see something about white people in particular being targeted just for being white people. I'm really getting tired of societies that were largely built by white people, either from the ground up or fleeing from the oppression of other places. A bunch of white people built a society, and a bunch of other people then call them racist and drag them down into the mud and beat them to death and such because they're white. And because somehow, despite them building society, setting it up and everything, somehow they're still evil, even though we're generations removed from all the white people that did all the colonialization or the conquering or any of that. You got all these majority white nations that are now very rapidly changing demographics to become Middle Eastern, Islamic, Muslim nations. You've got places, even in the United States, Dearborn, Michigan, trying to pull Sharia law crap and exploiting the values of the society to do so. And I'm tired of this shit. I'm just so absolutely gobsmacked. How many more times does a white woman need to be stabbed in the neck and allowed to bleed out and die on a commuter train? How many more times does a white woman have to be permanently disabled by a bunch of ghetto youth, for no reason? How many times does this crap have to happen? And our values are take it on the chin. Our values are, do unto your neighbor as you would have them do unto you. Our values are supposed to be benevolent and kind, and we're supposed to show everyone kindness and empathy and compassion and all this crap. And we've kind of lost sight of where we're supposed to be. And I want to be completely clear. This is a bunch of generalization. No, of course not every person is like these generalizations, but the generalizations still apply. Stereotypes exist because they are generally true, not because stereotypes are just a bunch of mean people being mean. So I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing this crap. I'm tired of people saying that you're racist if you go against people that show up and shit all over the place, and then go, oh, that's our culture. It's a cultural difference, and if you don't like it, then you're insensitive and blah blah blah. Well, fuck you. Yeah, I'm fucking insensitive. Yeah, I'm insensitive. Fuck you. I don't care. If you come here and you think it's totally fine to have a shithole full of roaches and pestilence, and that's totally cool, to let your place turn into a trash heap, then no. That's not okay. I'm not fine with it. I want you gone. I want you gone by any means necessary. I don't give a rat's ass that there's a cultural difference there. Your culture's dog shit and doesn't belong anywhere near my culture. Get the fuck out. You don't belong here. You don't belong anywhere near me. And if you are near me, I want you fucking gone. And I want people to drag you out if that's what it takes. I don't think that we are at a point in history where we can really continue to just be tolerant, because the tolerance is being exploited actively against us. And by us, I mean, yes, white people who are supposed to still be the majority, at least today, but are being very rapidly replaced by people who are incompatible with the culture, changing the culture into something it never should be. We are going from a high trust society to a low trust society. But even people who aren't white, you don't have to be fucking white, man. You can be whatever the hell you are, as long as you're not a giant asshole. But the second you go, I don't share your values, but I'm going to invoke your values to make you do what I want, you should let me be a criminal in your society. You should let me be abusive. You should let me have government benefits for some reason that even citizens don't get. You should let me have things that you don't get. You should allow me to be bad. You should allow me to be cancer because it fits your values. Well, fuck you. They're not your values. And that's ultimately what this video is about. This is me saying, fuck you. Go to hell. Die in a fire. I don't care. If you do not espouse my values, you do not get the benefit of my values. And everybody needs to start applying this to America, the UK, France, and so on. France is for the French. Britain is for the British. The U.S. is for Americans. No, I don't care about Native Americans. You know what? They conquered a bunch of themselves, whatever. None of that. I'm not getting into that can of worms. The bottom line is, in the late 1770s, we decided that we were independent from Britain. We set up a country. It is the most successful country on earth. Everybody has been milking the country for 60 or so years at least, if not more. Arguably, it's been going on for a century. But the United States has been looted by assholes across the world, and it's all in the name of some kind of benevolence, or I don't know. I don't know. There's just... It's sad. It's been going on so long, I'm not old enough to even remember how long it's been going on or know the details for all of it. It's this problem where the United States and the UK, just, all of the white Western nations basically have slowly but surely been dragged into a gutter where the corpses are being looted. It has gone on so long that most of us don't know a world where there has been any other way. Now, in America in particular, you could get away from this world because you could live in a small town. If you're from a small town, generally speaking, everyone kind of sort of knows everyone. There's not as many people. Usually there's more, that the population tends to be more ethnically or culturally similar. Basically, everybody is their own little microcosm of culture that is shared, and people know people, and people, you wouldn't do something bad because you know what, that guy's your neighbor, and you wouldn't hurt your neighbor because everybody would come after you for it. They'd sort of protect their own, but that's been lost too. There's no more protecting your own going on. There's no more like this guy did something bad and everybody stands up for the guy who was wronged. For some reason, we have allowed scumbags to completely penetrate all aspects of Western societies that are incompatible with our beliefs, that exploit our beliefs against us, but then try to force their beliefs onto us. So we have to be compassionate if the place, is overrun with angry Muslims, but the angry Muslims don't have to be compassionate back to us. Bullshit. No, that needs to end. That needs to end today. It's time for all you stupid, slothful, weak, defenseless, white Western people to stand up and stop being losers. Because you think that by being pacifist, that you are somehow, I don't know, you just, if I keep my head down, they won't come for me? Or, that's not how it works, dude. They're going to come for you. They're going to come for you, and nobody else is going to protect your stupid ass. That's just the way it's going to be. Fuck you. No, nobody's going to protect you. Because by the end of it all, when they come for you, when they apply their values to you or you die, you're the pussy that chickened out so that you could live the longest, and now you reap the full benefits of it. And that's the problem, is that you might not suffer a horrible fate now. You might defer that suffering, but you get to live a worse and worse life all up until the end, when they say you either convert to Islam or we kill you, and they may not even give you that choice. And if you think that this is some sort of theoretical, like, no, that would never happen, that kind of thing doesn't happen. It's already happened. It's already happened. In the United States, Islam isn't as much of a problem as just rampant criminality and systems that have been set up to enable the criminal against the victim, especially in large cities. But this seems to be a problem overall. In North Carolina, this Ukrainian girl was stabbed in the neck by this black guy on a train, and she bled out, and all the other people on the train, most of whom were black, because it's Charlotte, and Charlotte's mostly black people, just watched her die. And the guy on the way out, you can hear him in the recording saying, "I got that white girl." And this is totally fine, apparently. This is good stuff. Yep, And nobody's going to do anything about that, except North Carolina tried to pass a law in her name that would not basically say that you can't just let people out. The guy that did this had been arrested 14 times prior, and he never should have been let back out on the street. But what happened is all of these very loose criminal enforcement policies, for some reason, that guy, they just let him out. They just let him out. Doesn't matter. They just let him out 14 times that he did some serious crimes, and they just let him out. You know, I guess he's black, so he's too stupid to know what he's doing. So let him out. Show him some compassion. We just fucking stabbed a woman in the neck, and she's fucking dead. And then, this is icing on the cake, okay? Not only did no Democrats vote for the law that says no criminals actually have to be evaluated and kept in jail, and, you know, you have to actually, you know, like, follow the law. Not only did 0 Democrats in North Carolina vote for that bill in the Senate, but then, just a minute ago, on the video that I was watching, I think it was Sydney Watson, where she's talking about how we don't have to live like this, one of the people in the comments said, oh, but that Ukrainian girl, she overstayed her visa and wasn't deported. If she had been deported, like if she had not overstayed her visa and left, or if she was deported, she would still be alive. So let me get this straight. A guy is a severe criminal and is let out on the street. And that's compassionate. Murders this girl. It's her fault because he didn't know better. Yes, she should have been deported, or she should have gone back to Ukraine where there was a war, and thus she was an actual legitimate refugee, as opposed to the people that show up at the border and say, ooh, I am scared to go back to home country. I would love to have economic benefits in the United States. Give me EBT card with $4,000 of cash a month and free rent somewhere. Yeah, no, but we're not supposed to show her compassion, even though she's a legitimate refugee of an actual recognized war that Democrats have not been able to shut the fuck up about. But also, she getting killed, the criminal is shown compassion, but fuck her, right? And it's sort of the nature of our society at this point. You've allowed this cancer to seep in, and you stand back with a defensive posture and go, oh, I'll carry a gun and I'll defend my family and so on. Well, you know, you say that, but you carrying a gun isn't going to defend shit, because you'd have to be there. What's going to happen is your wife and your daughter are going to get raped in a back alley by some migrant or Muslim or some criminal that should have been arrested and thrown in jail 14 times over. All that shit's going to happen to your wife or your daughter, and the problem is going to be that you're not there because you can't be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to protect them. It's not possible. So what is happening right now is all Western societies have devolved very far from high trust societies to low trust societies. If you can't walk out your door with it unlocked and know that by the time you get home your stuff should be fine, then you live in a low trust society. If you have to lock your car or it's guaranteed something bad's going to happen, you live in a low trust society. We are practically at a zero trust society at this point, because there are so many policies that favor bad people, and victims, if they're white for some reason, are treated like they're victims, or not like they're victims, but like they're the bad guy for being a victim. Here's another one, okay? I don't remember exactly who it was or what the circumstances are, but there was like this white guy that got beat up by a bunch of black guys. There's like 4 teens or some shit. I don't remember what happened, but some dickhead, and this is in like government. This is actually somebody in a local or state government was like, don't talk to me about how this guy, like how he was attacked, like how he was punched or whatever. Don't talk to me about that. We need to be talking about how that guy incited 4 felonies. And since this godforsaken thing won't stop chiming when I'm trying to record a video, you know, we'll have to mute it. If you are white and you walk down the street and something happens that you piss off a small group of black youth that are never given any consequences for their bad behaviors, and you get beat up, Well, it's not that 4 people committed felony assault on you. It's that you made some kind of active decision to incite for felonies. You getting beat up is your fault. Therefore, you are the criminal for them beating you up. If this sounds insane to you, good, you're not lost yet. But there are people who legitimately think this way. And I'm tired of these people that think this way being allowed to exist. They shouldn't. You know, Charlie Kirk gets shot in the fucking neck, and you have all these psychotic vultures come out of the woodwork going, if he didn't, he said that he would be willing to not be alive or be shot. Like, if him being shot was a consequence of having the Second Amendment, then so be it. So he got what he asked for. You know, all these millions of people rationalizing away a murder. It's a fucking murder, you morons. You piece of shit, scumbag, asshole morons. It is a murder. It is not, we're not talking about somebody taking like a handful of your popcorn at the movie theater here. We're talking about shooting a guy in the neck in public in broad daylight in front of 500 people and his family. You know, and forget all that. We're talking about just killing someone who didn't do anything to the guy that shot him. And it's just, it's senseless. Like, the girl who got stabbed in the neck, she didn't do shit to the guy that stabbed her. But somehow, he's the victim. The shooter's the victim. The stabber's the victim. The 4 guys who beat up the guy, they're the victims because that guy incited felonies. It's not that the people who actually committed felony assault were the felons. No, it's the guy who got felony assaulted that somehow is the criminal. People who are like this, people who think like this, the problem is you think you have to tolerate them. You do not have to tolerate them. You should not tolerate them. And I'm tired of giving them the benefit of our values. I'm sick of it. From now on, if the fucking, you know, community center in Dearborn, Michigan blasts Islamic prayers at 5:30 in the morning, despite the fact that they've been repeatedly told that they can't do that. There's a noise ordinance. It ends at 7 a.m. You cannot wake everybody up at 5:30 with a fucking Islamic prayer on a loudspeaker. And yet the town's like 60% Muslim. So for some reason, once they're the majority, now all of a sudden the rules don't apply to them anymore. You don't just break the knob off. You don't just break the knob off of the thing. No, what you do is you get a bunch of guys out there with a shotgun at 5:30 in the morning, and when the thing goes off, you blow the loudspeaker out. You know, enough of this pussy stuff. Enough of this whole, the law will take care of it. The law is not taking care of it. The law will not take care of it. The law has never taken care of it. The problem is that the law only matters if somebody will actually enforce the law. If the law is not being enforced properly, it is your duty by any means necessary to see to it that the law is enforced. That's it. If I lived in Dearborn, Michigan, that speaker wouldn't be there anymore. I would do whatever I had to do by hook or by crook to make damn sure that that speaker was ruined. And if they put another one up, it'd come down too. But I don't live in Dearborn, Michigan. And honestly, I would never want to live in Dearborn, Michigan, because I wouldn't want to be anywhere near somebody who is that crude and disrespectful that they would wake me up at 5:30 in the morning with a religious prayer that I am not a part of the religion. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. The problem is that the people who are near that allow that. If you allow it, then that's all you get. You do not get respect by being kind. You get respect by enforcing your boundaries. You set clear boundaries. You enforce those boundaries. If you do not enforce your boundaries, you do not get respect, and you do not deserve respect. And the reason that you live in such a miserable society is because you've made the choice not to enforce your boundaries, not to get respect, not to deserve respect. So it's about time you enforced your boundaries. If I think that I should do unto others as I would have them do unto me, but those others think that none of that matters, they would never give me that kind of grace, they would never ever do that, then maybe it's time that I don't extend that grace to them either. Until they adopt my value system, they don't get the benefit of my fucking values. So, do something about it. Do anything about it at this point. It's complete bullshit and you shouldn't put up with it. End it. End it all right now. You have to make it stop. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and just start committing crimes, but at the same time, if the law is not being enforced, then something has to be done to make sure that it is enforced. It needs to be made clear to public officials that if the law is not enforced, if people don't play by the rules and they enable that not playing by the rules, then not playing by the rules can go both ways. The fatigue is not from the heat. Goodbye.